You want to know if he's falling in love with you. Of course, you've always hoped that when you meet a guy that you get on with really well and the chemistry is just insane, maybe you spent enough time with him and you started to grow strong feelings for him, but you're not exactly sure whether he's growing the same kind of feelings for you. So I'm gonna go through a handful of signs you can look for that are gonna show you if he's falling in love with you fast. First sign is that he makes future plans with you. Now, there is a whole thing of when we start to date someone, we start to like someone, you can kind of tell by someone's intention that if they say, oh, well, I'm doing this on this event, you should come. And if that event is in 3 or 4 weeks, that's kind of a good sign in going, oh, okay, I know that this person is interested in me for at least the next few weeks, right? But I'm talking more than that. I'm talking at the point at where he starts to joke about having kids with you and what those kids would be like. When he starts to joke about, oh, well, this is the kind of place I want to live, and you could do that by the water or by the pond. It's one of those things that, when you joke about something, but there's a hint of truth behind it, what that's shown is the reflection of his intention with you, of his energy with you, and potentially what he sees for you and him in the future. Now, obviously, ladies, you won't be any strangers to what this means, because you know that when you start dating a guy and when you really like him, the more you like him, the more you like to try and make future plans with him to kind of go, hey, you're still intending to be seeing me at this point. I know that this is a little test that girls like to do with guys, or as a little confirmation and reassurance that this guy is actually interested in you long term. Well, if a guy is initiating future plans with you, if he's initiating these kind of things, then you can be sure that he's definitely starting to fall for you. The next sign that a guy is falling in love with you quite quickly is that your happiness becomes important to him. Now, this is really nice when somebody really cares about how happy we are, and it's really important that this person wants to contribute to our happiness, because that's the kind of person we want to build a life with. But we have to be careful as well, and this is a trap that a lot of people fall to when they start having relationships with someone, is that we don't make it their responsibility for us to be happy. The only person who's responsible for your own happiness is you. And having someone is supposed to add to that happiness, but they're not responsible for it. However, as guys, when they really care about a girl, when he's really caring about a woman, especially if you start to fall in love with her happiness is going to be very important to him. If she says she wants to do something, he's gonna try and prioritize that because he knows that it makes her happy. Because the truth is, when you start to really like someone, especially if you start to fall in love with someone, them being happy contributes to your own happiness. So it's almost kind of like when they say there's no such thing as a selfless deed, it's kind of like that. Basically, your happiness starts to impact how he feels, not only about you, but about the relationship. Because if he cares about the relationship, he wants you to be fulfilled in that. And part of that is making sure that you're happy. This next thing you can look for that could be a key sign that a guy is starting to fall for you is if you catch him looking at you without saying a word. If you're seeing a guy and maybe you're watching TV or you're playing some cards together or something, and you just catch him looking at you, but he's not saying a word. But he's not just staring at you like some creep just watching a girl in a short dress go past. His eyes are glistening. He's looking at you like he's imagining something. He's looking at you with admiration, with inspiration. And what's happening is there's an inner monologue in his head of something along the lines of, wow, I'm with this girl, I think she's amazing. I can imagine doing this with her, I can imagine doing this with her. And he won't be saying anything, but there'll be a small smile on his face. Just know that he's actually not in the present moment. He's thinking about the future with you. He's looking at you thinking, she's with me and I'm having her time and she's getting my time and I'm really enjoying this. He's also likely to be reflecting on the relationship that you're building and he's really happy with that. This next sign that shows that he really could be falling for you quite quickly is that your problems become his problems. And I don't literally mean that every single one of your problems in life now go to him straight away, but any problem that you have, he's going to want to help you solve these problems. Guys, naturally, we gear towards trying to solve a problem, especially for the woman that we care about. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes this can be a little bit of a detriment because sometimes, ladies, you may just be venting a problem or an issue that's going on and you're not looking for someone to provide solutions. You're just looking for someone to listen. You're just looking for an ear, for someone to just re-encourage you and just support you emotionally. And sometimes as guys, it's not always easy to know when that's the case, because we're so natural, especially with our guy friends. If our guy friends confide a problem in us, it's usually because they want our help in helping them solve it. So know that when you are venting to him, and if he's trying to come up with solutions and give you suggestions, or even if he's trying to take it upon himself to see if there's something he can do to actually help remedy the situation, it comes from a place of really caring about you, and he wants to try and make your life easier if it's in his ability. So just know that it comes from a good place. And of course, there will be times where you want to share a problem with him to get his thoughts on, and he's going to be more than ready to chip in about what he thinks is going to help the situation. This next sign that a guy is falling for you and definitely has plans for you long term is that he introduces you to his friends and family. Either he introduces you to his friends and family, or he plans to introduce you to his friends and family. The kind of language that will reflect this is when maybe he brings up a best friend with you that he has several times, and he'll be like, oh yeah, you'll meet so-and-so at some point. Now, he wouldn't say that if he didn't have that intention with you. Here's the truth, ladies. If a guy is seeing a girl and he's not really taking her that seriously, he's not gonna introduce her to his friends, especially not his family. And the reason is because, as harsh as it sounds, if he's not taking her seriously, then he doesn't plan on having her around for that long. Whereas the girl that he is taking seriously, the girl that he's falling for, it's gonna be really important that if she is becoming someone of high value to his life, someone that he really cares about, he obviously wants to integrate her into his network of his tribe, of his close friends, of his family members. But of course, here's the truth. If he's falling in love with you and he has plans and wants to potentially take things further and start to build a life together, his family is going to become your family. So it's going to be important for him that you start to build a rapport with his family. He's going to want to know what his family thinks about you if he's going to take you seriously. And usually there'll be certain family members, like maybe his sister, maybe his mother. It'll usually be a woman, you know, because, you know, women tend to gauge women better and guys tend to gauge men better. But getting their approval can be very important to him about someone that he's serious about. For that to happen, you have to meet his family. Now, I know that can be quite nerve-wracking, but just be yourself, because 9 times out of 10, they trust him to choose the right person. If he's chosen you, you're probably gonna pass with flying colors. Are you in a situation where you think a guy might be falling for you? Or are you in a situation where you feel like you're falling for him, but you don't know if he feels the same way? If you're looking for a guy who sparks up your love life, make sure you subscribe to this wonderful tribe. And as always, keep it slick.
How?